We therefore had no alternative but to fight. That is why, between 1966 and 1986, Uganda was among the top 4 refugees-generating countries in the world at that time. At one time, Uganda had 500,000 refugees, almost the whole population of West Nile, in exile in Congo and South Sudan. While I do not want to talk about other African countries, I am sure that I can safely cite at least 2 examples. The struggle by the SPLM of the Sudan against the Arab Islamic chauvinist regime of Khartoum, which was insisting that the very dark Dinkas, Shiruks, Nuer, etc. of South Sudan were Arabs and had to live under Sharia law. If you have got a sample of a South Sudanese and he stands up and you see him, and you call him an Arab, you must be out of your mind. How do you resolve that madness? These were mad. You know, we would spend years talking to Bashir, but these people are not Arabs. Why do you call Sudan an Arab country? And why do you want to make Sudan Islamic? These are not Muslims. They are not even, many of them are not even Christian. They are our traditional religion. Why do you bother them? But madness is quite democratic in the world. How do you resolve that madness? How about the whites in South Africa, who said that the indigenous Africans could not have voting rights in the country of their ancestry? You imagine we had to spend years with the whites in South Africa. The answer was a just war in each of the above situations. You then have unjust wars of either aggression or of a reactionary nature, non-progressive. Take the colonial wars of conquest. Why were the colonists conquering other countries? What right did they have to do so? Then you come to ADF, Kony, Lakwena, etc. ADF said that they wanted to make Uganda Islamic by force. Kony wanted to rule us by some commandments that were to be given him by the Holy Spirit. Lakwena wanted government megwa. In Acholi, that means our government, by which she meant the Acholi tribal government over the whole of Uganda. These were aims, all right, but they were wrong aims, oppressive aims, negative and progressive aims. They were therefore reactionary, kupinga maendeleo aims, and hence the wars fought in their implementation were unjust wars, just like the wars of the colonial conquest. Having talked about just and unjust wars, we also clarify the issue of terrorism. It is wrong to say that every armed group is a terrorist group, whether they are fighting a just or unjust war. Take Lakwena, for instance. Although she was fighting an unjust war over Acholi sectarianism, she was definitely not a terrorist because she was not using terrorist methods. Terrorist methods mean using violence indiscriminately, such as attacking non-combatants, killing prisoners of war, or torturing them. Lakwena was confused, using the witchcraft of the smearing her fighters with the oil of moya tree, shea butter tree, and telling them that they were immune to bullets, but she was not a terrorist because she was not targeting non-combatants, she was not killing prisoners of war. That is how Major Jensi survived, one of our army officers. When Jensi was captured, Lakwena said, no, you bring him here. I will make him a member of the Holy Spirit movement. of the Rakwana movement. The then VS was put there and he was smeared with Moya oil that he had not. Then the man took the first chance to escape again. And, so definitely Rakwana was not a terrorist. She was confused, but not a terrorist. COIN and ADF were, on the other hand, fighting both an unjust war, but also a terrorist one. Why? It is because they were targeting non-combatants, killing prisoners of war, etc., the attack massacre, the Baronyo massacre, the Stramba burning of 8 students in the dormitory, the Chiburara Seminary massacre, the abductions of young people to force them to fight for them, the abduction of sex slaves. It is those acts that make a fighter a terrorist. Even if you are fighting for a just cause, if you target non-combatants, use forced recruitment other than conscription by the state, kill prisoners of war, take sex slaves, you become a terrorist. Therefore, in the whole of the Greater Lakes area, the concerned groups should be audited as to whether they are fighting for a just cause or not, and as to